Hello ladies and gentlemen, I've got a triples battle for you today, and this is a metagame I've been really wanting to get into for quite a while, so I made a team especially for it, and it's quite difficult to get into this metagame just because there are so many possibilities, and you feel like a kid in a candy shop and you just get overwhelmed by it all. And I decided I want to stay clear of weather and just go with something fairly solid. I had been toying with the idea of something more gimmicky like skill swapping Slacking's ability to huge power from Azumarill, but that takes too long and triple battles generally don't take very long. I mean, this one here was only 10 turns long. And on my team, the one thing that stands out amongst everything else has got to be Clefairy. And you might be wondering, what the hell, why is Clefairy there? But Clefairy gets the ability Friend Guard, and what that does, if you have Clefairy in the middle, then both of your adjacent Pokemon have all damage from opponents' attacks reduced by 25%. So Clefairy is absolutely key just for survivability, making frail Pokemon survive a little bit longer. And Clefairy itself can have a very diverse move pool, and it gets some really awesome stuff like Follow Me and Cosmic Power for triple battles. The second Pokemon on my team that is designed to sit in the centre spot is Defensive Hitmontop, who gets good triple battle moves such as Wide and Quick Guard, as well as Helping Hand and Fake Out. Not only this, but it has the Intimidate ability to lower all opponents' attacks. My two sweepers are Volcarona and Gastrodon. There's not really too much to say about them, except that Gastrodon is absolutely key because moves such as Water Spout and Surf that hit multiple opponents' Pokemon, they're really common, especially on rain teams, so Storm Drain just hoovers all that stuff up. My final two are Anti-Lead Tornadus with Prankster Tailwind and Taunt, and then Brick Break to break opposing screens, and Acrobatics for Stab, and it also hits across the other side of the field, which you can't usually do from like a corner position in triple battles if you had done it before. Finally, there's Dual Screen Starmie. I just needed something bulky and fast, and Starmie just fit that description. So as I said, triple battles are very diverse, and you can't really assess an opponent's team, especially when I think my opponent said that this was just grab bag, him bringing a load of stuff. So I won't waste any more of your time, and let's just get into it. So for leads, like I said, I have Clefairy in the middle just to provide some team defense straight from the get-go, and if you can keep Clefairy there the whole game, that's like having a slightly weaker version of Dual Screens up. Starmie is also essential from the start because 8 turn screens in just a 10 turn match, that's really huge, and although in triples you're probably wondering, screens plus Friend Guard, that's really broken, how can you kill anything, but Dual Screens only provide 33% defenses, that's slightly more balanced. So Hitmontop does what Hitmontops do, and that is going for Fake Out. And Fake Out is a big move in triple battles just because the power to stop an opponent's Pokemon from acting for a turn is absolutely massive, giving your other team members a chance to bring it down. And I go for Tailwind with Tornadus to double all my Pokemon's speed, and it's even better in triples because it applies for that turn as well, so Prankster means it will go first and then it can double Starmie's speed and Clefairy's speed. And Starmie goes to like over 600 speed on turn 1. Dragonite goes for DD, which is a little bit problematic because Starmie has Ice Beam but it's unable to attack it, and Gastrodon with Ice Beam isn't on the field. And I go for Cosmic Power with Clefairy because after a couple of Cosmic Powers and behind Dual Screens, Clefairy is unkillable, and it can just sit there the whole game just being annoying. So I withdraw Tornadus because Tailwind may be crucial, in the future of the game. It only lasts 4 turns, so I might need to get up again in the future. And I don't have to worry about Stealth Rocks because hazards are very rare, just because there is a lot less switching in triple battles. And I go into Volcarona to resist the Ice Beam if he wants to stay in, but he also switches, perhaps fearing a Hydro Pump from an offensive Starmie, he hasn't seen my moves yet, and so going into Lapras to get the Water Absorb. And Extreme Speed from Dragonite does absolutely loads to Volcarona, because I am now more fearful of a +1 Outrage from Dragonite. I'm going to go for the Reflect first to nullify its attacks for Starmie, and because I went for Tailwind, that now means Clefairy can outspeed Hitmontop, and I can Encore him into the Fake Out, making it absolutely useless. Now because that Extreme Speed did absolutely loads, I'm going to save Volcarona, because like I said, it is one of my late game sweepers, and I need to prep the field first a little bit, just make everything a little bit weaker. So I'm going to pivot into Hitmontop to just drop Dragonite's attack. I can also look at going for a high jump kick on Lapras soon as well. I can now go for Light Screen, and Starmie's done really all I needed to do in this match. Now because Hitmontop had to switch out, I can safely go for another Cosmic Power, just to send Clefairy's defences into the stratosphere, and would you believe it, of all the Pokemon in this match, Clefairy towers above them all. Like all the OU Pokemon here, Clefairy is just above them, like on a whole new level. And if this was Sparta, they'd be chucking Dragonites and Hitmontops off the cliff, and only the strongest Clefairy babies would be preserved. Unfortunately, Starmie is not a Clefairy, and that T-Bolt does far too much for my liking. And you've probably noticed that we're actually 3 turns into this match, and I haven't done any damage to my opponent's Pokemon, but be patient, it takes time, like a fine malt whiskey, you don't just rush into it. You take your time, you perhaps smell the contents, swirl it around the glass a few times, add some ice, perhaps even study the detail on the bottle, and only then you go for the finish, that fine, delectable finish. So I switched Starmie out, both because I have Natural Cure and also because I have a safe switch on Lapras' Thunderbolt, and also with both of Kabutops' stab moves. Because I know that Gastrodon and Clefairy are safe from Lapras and Kabutops this turn, I'm going to go for Fake Out on the only potential danger in Dragonite, and then also Sysbit toss it to, you know, start wearing it down a little bit. And this is where the power of Dual Screens plus Friend Guard kicks in, because even though I missed the high jump kick, I can still live a Dragon Claw, and also what I later found out to be a Specs T-Bolt. To my surprise as well, Gastrodon actually one-shots Kabutops, and that's just down to raw power, because I'm not Specs or Expert Belt, but I'm actually Rindo Berry, and after one more Seismic Toss, Dragonite is no longer looking quite so threatening. So to steal a line of Sum 41 and a fantastic album, we're into the all-killer no-filler part of this match now, and I'm going to preserve Hitmontop because Intimidate and Fake Out combination is more useful to me now than Starmie is ever going to be. To its credit, Starmie does take an extreme speed quite well, but look how well Gastrodon takes this Stab Dart Pulse from a Hydreigon, what I presume is an Expert Belt or maybe even Specs Hydreigon, and I can just retaliate with a super effective Ice Beam. So I go back out into Hitmontop now, once again dropping Dragonite's attack, this time to -1, and I'm actually going to go for the Fake Out here on Lapras, and at the time I didn't know what item it was, so I didn't want him perhaps going for Toxic or something on Gastrodon, and this turn was pretty big because although I do lose Hitmontop, he loses to OU Dragon Behemoths, and at this point it doesn't look like he's going to be able to KO Clefairy. The only problem is going to be Hitmontop, but I do have a plan for that. We're now into 4v3, and I'm going to go into Tornadus first just to go for another Tailwind. That way Volcarona will definitely outspeed Nidoking if it is a Scarfer, and also that will double Clefairy's speed so that if Hitmontop Fake Outs Clefairy this turn, I can outspeed it the following turn and just Encore him into it. And although I do lose Tornadus, it's really only there for the early game, and there wasn't really all that much I could have done with it. Maybe I could have Brick Breaked Lapras or perhaps done for Acrobatics on Hitmontop, but I don't think it would have done all that much. Did Clefairy's health bar actually move on that T-Bolt? Anyway, so as predicted, Hitmontop goes for Fake Out, and I can Encore him into that, and now that he's onto his last 3, he's screwed because he can't actually switch out, so he's permanently locked into that Fake Out now. And I would have been interested to see how much a high jump kick would have done to Clefairy there, to be honest. But I will outspeed under Tailwind, and I can go for the Quiver Dance with Volcarona, because the only 2 Pokemon that can hit me, Nidoking and Lapras, are both special attackers, so boosting my special defense is absolutely key to survival here. And because Hitmontop is useless now, I can start to weaken Lapras as well for the final blow. And I went for Encore on Lapras there because, like I said before, I still wasn't sure what item he was. So I can go for a +1 Heat Wave off the back of a monstrous special attack, and I have Heat Wave over fire moves because Heat Wave can hit multiple Pokemon, as you can see here, taking out Lapras, and very nearly KOing Nidoking. And if you're wondering why it didn't quite finish Nidoking off, that is because in doubles and triples battles, moves that hit more than one Pokemon have their power dropped to 75% of their original power. Again, that's just to balance like potentially devastating tactics, for instance Abomasnow, Jinx and Kyurem Black, all firing off Blizzard on turn 1, that will just wreck any team. And Hitmontop goes down, and I think it's fitting that Clefairy, the one constant throughout this entire match, gets the final kill, so that will be the game. So thank you very much Miss Sysbit, one of the very many enjoyable matches we've had, and I hope you all enjoyed that. Triple battles are kind of awkward to narrate, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.